Tech Talk.
Tech Talk.
Tech Talk. Tech Talk.
Tech Talk.
Tech Talk.
The internet has changed the way people access information, as well as changing the way people live their lives. People no longer have to visit the bank to conduct the majority of their banking, and in some cases, no longer have to visit the grocery store to do their weekly shop. However, when it comes to medical issues, does the internet mean that we no longer have to visit a doctor in order to get a medical diagnosis? And does the internet have enough information whereby people are now able to diagnose their own medical issues? I spoke with Steve Hamilton, who's the Vice President of the Australian Medical Association, about this issue. Just to start, the internet has changed just about every aspect of our lives, and these days people are now using the internet for all sorts of things, such as accessing information regarding medical conditions. Are doctors concerned about this?
Yes, we are concerned because the internet contains both good and bad information. There are some very good resources and it can actually be very helpful for patients, but also there are equally websites with inaccurate information, and it's very hard for the non-trained person to pick the difference.
What sorts of dangers are there with people accessing the internet when it comes to finding information about medical symptoms that they may be suffering?
Well, the main danger with the internet is that there are both good and bad websites, and the good ones are actually very helpful, but there is misinformation available, and pseudoscience is very hard to pick from science, and that's a major problem. Making a diagnosis over the internet is also very difficult because making a diagnosis is a specific task that takes years of practice to get right.
What about when it comes to reputable sites? Isn't there still a danger that a person may in fact get it quite wrong?
Well, it's certainly possible. I mean, many diseases have similar symptom sets, and really looking at the whole person and understanding that your background and your risk factors and your family history is actually something that's very important. And also you find that when you visit a medical practitioner, usually there's a physical examination or tests that are done before a diagnosis is made, and it's very important that the information is discussed with your family doctor.
So do you feel the internet has any place when it comes to people seeking information, perhaps after they've been diagnosed with a condition?
I think the internet is very important, and I actually say to my patients, I have to know a little bit about every condition there is. All you have to know is enough about yours to manage it properly. So I do encourage people to get educated and understand their condition, and the internet can provide some very useful information to help them make decisions about their own illness.
There are so many websites out there. How do people tell between the more reputable medical websites opposed to those that are simply quackery?
Well, it's very important. I often say to people to go to websites where they know that the institution exists in the real world. So the University of Queensland, for example, might be one, or a University of Melbourne, or the University of Sydney, and if their websites are likely to be reputable. Similarly, if they're going to the United States to go to a major centre like the Mayo Clinic, you'll find that the website that's contained within usually contains good information. And there are some other ones that the GPs may actually offer to their patients to actually go and search for information.
What advice would you have for people that are suffering from medical symptoms who are using the internet to diagnose themselves?
Well, you can certainly get some information from the internet. The information could be good and bad. Remember that there's always the opportunity to get misinformation as well as information from the internet. So you've got to be very careful when you're reading it that you check with someone who can make that judgment and help you steer you onto the better websites. If you have any concerns about your health, you really should see your GP to help you make that decision and diagnosis, and then it may be a good thing to go back to the internet and get some more detail.
As we have just heard, the internet is a great resource for information, but only when the information is credible and backed up by science, as well as a reputable organisation. Later in Hot Sites, I'll take a look at Australia's #1 consumer medical website, which has the backing of the Victorian government. I would like to thank Steve Hamilton for joining us on the program today.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Hot Sites.
Fascinating.
Hot Sites.
Fascinating.
Earlier in the program, we heard that the internet is a great resource when it comes to finding medical information. However, there is a huge risk that the information found by users online could be wrong and not backed up by science or a reputable medical organisation. I spoke with Geraldine O'Sullivan, who is the Manager of Health Web Communications at the Victorian Department of Health, about Better Health Channel, which has become Australia's #1 online source of consumer medical information. Just to start, could you explain what Better Health Channel is?
Better Health Channel is a comprehensive and very popular health and medical information website. We've become a significant national resource over the last 10 years. We've been in the market since 1999 when we were established by the Department of Health as a free and independent online health resource for the Victorian community, but obviously we operate in an online world, so the audience is far greater than that. But our main aim is to support Victorians with really good information about health for prevention and the conditions that they may feel they have or that they know they have.
What groups of people are you targeting with this website?
Let me just perhaps sketch for you the typical user of Better Health Channel. Women are essentially the gatekeepers of health for their families. In terms of the research that we've done, we understand that the sort of dominant user is typically a woman between the ages of 25 and 55, and they primarily visit health websites in general, and probably with the Better Health Channel as well, when they're ill or they need info on a specific condition that they have or someone they're caring for has, and that's often, immediate family. But, the tide's sort of turning as well as people begin to understand the importance of preventative health. The population is much more interested in that. We also know that the use of our website by young people and by senior Victorians is growing, and we're very interested to extend our reach with our good message as far as we can.
What inspired the Victorian government to create this website?
In 1999, when the internet was just taking off, really, I guess a lot of government departments around the country and more generally internationally were beginning to understand the potential power that an online educational resource could have in the health space. So the Better Health Channel was conceived really to support information distribution on conditions and treatments that people might require information on. Now it's become probably more comprehensive than that, and we're in the process of redeveloping the site to make sure that we can deliver more contemporary methods and channels for the information that we provide. But healthy living is now a really important issue. So we've got about close to 2,000 fact sheets on a range of conditions and treatments that people might be interested in, and generally we know that we're hitting the mark because we have around 1 million visits each month, with about, say in the past year, about 27 million pages viewed. So I guess if I can sort of expand on that, we know the online health market is growing. We know that there are lots of private sector organisations out there that are interested in providing online health to people. In general, that's a great thing that the market is expanding. But what we know we can do with the Better Health Channel is offer the impartial and credible information that's sort of clinically approved. So we know that our brand is really trusted.
Are there any examples that you could share that you know of where Better Health Channel has helped individuals and also service providers in providing health information?
The thing that I'm constantly amazed at is that our users are very vocal with us. They constantly let us know how we're going with the website, and we've kept a database for that 10 years, which is, you can imagine, is pretty huge now, given the 12 million a year users. But we are amazed by the amount of positive feedback that comes from people who use us, and it's really encouraging because we do work really hard to keep the site up to date and to constantly look at new ways of improving our reach and our visibility and the quality of our content. I was having dinner with a nurse last night, and an old friend, and she didn't realise that I was doing the Better Health Channel, and she just said to me she uses it every day with her clients. Earlier this week, my daughter was actually quite unwell, and I was sitting in a GP's office, and a Better Health Channel fact sheet popped up on his software. I couldn't have been more delighted because that's exactly what we're trying to do, is support the consumer not only online, but to actually provide the service providers with information that, they can send consumers away with as well. So we're really becoming a more and more integrated tool, I guess, for the service industry in health. A colleague of mine was only saying the other day that because Better Health Channel is mobile enabled, he was able to, being in a hospital bed with his father-in-law, he was actually able to access a mobile version of the Better Health Channel to understand the condition and read it out to the family members around the bed. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that if we can actually supply that information where people need it. And that's an important support, because we know that when people are unwell, and obviously that's just one side of what we do, when you're unwell, you do want to be well informed and you want to be able to have a good discussion with your doctor and know what's going on. But the other important thing is that we work pretty hard to educate people to stay well, not get ill, and there's a whole range of fact sheets on the Better Health Channel that promote wellness, and that's a really important agenda for Better Health Channel too.
So there you have it. Better Health Channel is one website which is a reputable and quality assured place for medical information. However, no website should be considered a substitute for expert medical advice, and people suffering from medical symptoms should seek advice from their family doctor. You can visit Better Health Channel by going to www.betterhealth.vic.gov.au. I would like to thank Geraldine O'Sullivan for joining us today. This has been Matthew Sampson with Hot Sites.